The narrative of Zulqarnain suggests that his empire was vast, and his travels took him across multiple regions, both near and far. His construction of a wall to contain Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog, indicates that he had a considerable amount of time and resources at his disposal to accomplish such feats. This suggests that he ruled for several decades, but the Quran does not specify the exact length of his reign. No exact dates in history, since the Quran does not provide dates, and the identity of Zulqarnain is uncertain. It is impossible to pinpoint an exact historical timeline for his rule. The theories that connect him to Cyrus the Great, or Alexander the Great, would place him in the 6th century BCE for Cyrus, or the 4th century BCE for Alexander, but there is no definitive confirmation of these dates in the Quran. Historical events linked to Zulqarnain's time. Although the Quran doesn't give specific dates, some scholars suggest that Zulqarnain might have lived during a period of great political upheaval and conquest, where empires rose and fell rapidly. This could place him in the era of the ancient Near East, or the early Persian Empire, a time when the world was experiencing major shifts in power dynamics. Dajjal will come first. Ya'juj, Ma'juj and Dabbat al-Ard will appear after Dajjal. Beast of the sea is mentioned in Holy Bible. Leviathan appears in Psalms as a multi-headed sea serpent. Sufyani also will appear with Ya'juj Ma'juj. Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, said, "The Messenger of Allah said, there has not been a prophet who has not warned his ummah of that one-eyed liar, Dajjal. Behold, he is blind in one eye, and your Rabb, Allah, is not blind." On his forehead are the letters KFR, meaning Kafir, disbeliever. Muslim, 2942, narrated from the Hadees of Faatimah bint Qays, which tells the story of Tameem, al-Daari and al-Jassaasah, that the Dajjal said to them, "Soon I will be given permission to emerge, and I will emerge and travel throughout the land, and I will not leave any town, but I will enter it within 40 nights, apart from Makkah and Taebah, for they are both forbidden to me. Every time I want to enter one of them, I will be met by an angel with an unsheathed sword in his hand, who will drive me back. Over each of their entrances there are angels guarding them." Fatima said, "The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, striking the minbar with his stick, 'This is Taebah, this is Taebah, this is Taebah,' meaning Madinah. Have I not told you that?" The people said, "Yes." The Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said, "I liked what Tameem said because it agreed with what I have been telling you about him, the Dajjal, and about Makkah and Madeenah. The Dajjal will emerge from the east, then he will travel throughout the earth, and he will not leave any land, but he will enter it, apart from Makkah and Madeenah, al-Masjid al-Aqsa and Masjid al-Tur, Sinai. Not just Muslims, he will kill every single person who refuses to believe that he is God. He will also have fire and water, he will throw people in the fire, and the pain of the Muslim deaths will be equal to a mosquito bite, and they will directly enter Jannah. And not just the death of burning, he will also cut off people's arms and legs, but it will be as if we are feeling pain to a person who is seeing us, but in reality we won't be feeling pain at all. He will give people gruesome deaths to Muslims and non-Muslims who don't believe he is God, but the Muslims, when going thief type of deaths, we won't be feeling any pain. But beware, only true Muslims won't break in front of him, others will fall down and beg like dogs. Then Isa, PBUH, will come from Jannah, and kill Dajjal." Al-Tirmidhi, 2237, narrated that Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with him, said, "The Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, told us, the Dajjal will emerge from a land in the east called Khorasan." This hadith was classed as Sahih by al-Albani in Sahih al-Tirmidhi. There are many minor signs that our beloved Prophet Muhammad told us that will happen before coming of major signs. Almost all of the minor signs have been completed. This is the time when major signs will start, and the first major sign mentioned is Dukhan, clear smoke in clouds. This is the sign of Armageddon. This major sign is also mentioned in Quran 44:10. Below is the series of major signs that will occur like a chain reaction. A huge black cloud of smoke, dukhan, will cover the earth. 3 sinkings of the earth, one in the east, one in the west, and the last one in Arabia. The coming of Dajjal, presuming himself as an apostle of God. The false Messiah, Antichrist, Masih ad-Dajjal, shall appear with great powers as a one-eyed man with his right eye blind and deformed like a grape. Although believers will not be deceived, he will claim to be God, to hold the keys to heaven and hell, and will lead many astray. In reality, his heaven is hell, and his hell is heaven. The Dajjal will be followed by 70,000 Jews of Isfahan wearing Persian shawls. The return of Isa, Jesus, from the 4th sky, to kill Dajjal. Ya'juj and Ma'juj, a Japhetic tribe of vicious beings who had been imprisoned by Zulkarnain, will break out. They will ravage the earth, drink all the water of Lake Tiberias, and kill all believers in their way. Isa, Imam al-Mahdi, and the believers with them will go to the top of a mountain and pray for the destruction of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. God eventually will send disease and worms to wipe them out. The sun will rise from the west. The dabbat al-Ard, or beast of the earth, will come out of the ground to talk to people. The first blow of the trumpet will sound and everything will fall dead. The second blow of the trumpet will be sounded, the dead will return to life, and a fire will come out of Yemen that shall gather all to Mashar al-Qiyamah, the gathering for judgment. So only the major signs are yet to occur until the day of judgment come. Allah knows the best. The Messenger of Allah said, "Let me tell you something about Dajjal, the Antichrist, which no prophet had told his people. He is blind, in one eye, and will bring with him something like Jannah and hell, but what he calls Jannah will be in fact hell." Al-Bukhari and Muslim. And Nawas bin Sam _ may Allah be pleased with him, reported. One morning the Messenger of Allah made a mention of Dajjal, and he described him to be insignificant and at the same time described him so significant that we thought he was on the date palm trees, i.e., nearby. When we went to him, the Prophet, in the evening, he perceived the sign of fear on our faces. He said, "What is the matter with you?" We said, "O Messenger of Allah, you talked about Dajjal this morning, raising your voice and lowering it until we thought he was hiding in the palm trees grove." He said, "Something other than Dajjal make worry about you. If he appears while I am with you, I will defend you against him. But if he appears after I die, then every one of you is his own defender. Allah is the one who remains after me to guide every Muslim." Dajjal will be a young man with very curly hair with one eye protruding, with which he cannot see. I compare his appearance to that of al-Uzza bin Katan. He who amongst you survives to see him, should recite over him the opening ayat of Surat al-Kahf, i.e., Surat 18, verses 1 to 8. He will appear on the way between Syria and Iraq and will spread mischief right and left. O slaves of Allah, remain adhered to the truth. We asked, "O Messenger of Allah, how long will he stay on the earth?" He said, "For 40 days. One day will be like a year, one day like a month, one day like a week, and the rest of the days will be like your days." We said, "O Messenger of Allah, will one day's salat, prayer, suffice for the salat of that day, which will be equal to 1 year?" Thereupon he said, "No, but you must make an estimate of time and then offer salat." We said, "O Messenger of Allah, how quickly will he walk upon the earth?" Thereupon he said, "Like cloud driven by the wind, i.e., very quickly. He will come to the people and call them to his obedience, and they will affirm their faith in him and respond to him. He will then give command to the sky and it will send its rain upon the earth, and he will then send his command to the earth and it will grow vegetation. Then in the evening their pasturing animals will come to them with their humps very high and their udders full of milk and their flanks stretched. He will then come to another people and invite them, but they will reject him and he will leave them, in barren lands and without any goods and chattels. He would then walk through the wasteland and say to it, "Bring forth your treasures," and the treasures will come out and follow him like swarms of bees. He will then call a person brimming with youth and strike him with the sword and cut him into 2 pieces and make these pieces lie at a distance, which is generally between the archer and his target. He will then call that young man and he will come forward, laughing, with his face gleaming out of joy. And it will be at this very time that Allah will send Isa, Jesus, son of Maryam, Mary, who will descend at the white minaret in the eastern side of Damascus, wearing 2 garments lightly dyed and placing his hands on the wings of 2 angels. When he will lower his head, there would fall drops of water from his head, and when he will raise it up, drops like pearls would scatter from it. Every disbeliever who will find his, i.e., Isis, smell will die, and his smell will reach as far as he will be able to see. He will then search for Dajjal until he will catch hold of him at the gate of Lud, village near Jerusalem, and will kill him. Then the people, whom Allah will have protected, will come to Isa son of Maryam, and he will wipe their faces and will inform them of their ranks in Jannah, and it will be under such conditions that Allah will reveal to Isa these words, I have brought forth from amongst my slaves such people against whom none will be able to fight, so take these people safely to the mountain. And then Allah will send Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog people, and they will swarm down from every slope. The first of them will pass the Lake Tabariya, near the Dead Sea in Palestine, and drink all its water. And when the last of them will pass, he will say, there was once water there. Prophet Isa, and his companions will then be so much hard-pressed that the head of an ox will be dearer to them than 100 dinar, and Isa along with his companions, will make supplication to Allah, who will send insects which will attack the Ya'juj and Ma'juj people, until they all will perish like a single person. Prophet Sa and his companions will then come down, and they will not find in the earth as much space as a single span which would not be filled with their corpses and their stench. Prophet Isa and his companions will then again beseech Allah, who will send birds whose necks will be like those of Bactrian camels, and they will carry them and throw them where Allah will desire. Then Allah will send down rain which will spare no house in the city or in the countryside. It would wash away the earth until it appears like a mirror. Then the earth will be told to bring forth its fruit and restore its blessings. And as a result of this, there will grow such a big pomegranate that a group of people will eat from it and seek shelter under its skin. Milk will be so blessed that the milk of 1 she-camel will suffice for a large company, and the cow will give so much milk that it will suffice for a whole tribe. The sheep will give so much milk that the whole family will be able to drink out of that, and at that time Allah will send a pleasant wind which will soothe people even under their armpits, and will take the life of every Muslim and true believer, and only the wicked will survive. They will commit adultery in public like asses, and the resurrection day will be held.